Hello, my fellow Ghoul Renegade, and welcome back to a brand new video of Ghoulish Reacts. And today we are back, diving in once again to the AAVARION Show. So in the last episode, we started off watching the AAVARION Show. We met one of our main characters, Mason, and he invited on a guy known as Ratface. Ratface, apparently he was locked, possibly left in the closet by the production behind the AAVARION Show. And so far the show has been about inviting guests on and bringing their unique styles, whether it be creative, whether it be music, and just showing off something cool as of right now. At least that's what the show seems like. But it also seems like this show is hiding something darker. So anyway, we're going to be diving into the second episode. The video that we're going to be reacting to today is known as Vinca by the AAVARION Show. Let's get into it.
And welcome back to the show.
Oh, hold on. I want to read that. Sorry. Variant Communications. Okay, so this must be a company or corporation within the universe of the AAVARION Show. Okay, let's go. We're back with Mason once again.
And welcome back to the show.
Ooh, oh yeah, vampire.
Janine,
teeth.
did I have those in my mouth before I started? What the? Janine, where's my real microphone? I mean, this is what a podcast is supposed to be like. You know, plant in the middle, TV, and my note cards, of course. And my note cards.
Whoa. Okay, so we have a darkened figure here. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm gonna put my camera down here. Hold on, give me a second. Something is required to be used in the facility, whether that be something ridiculous or strawberry ice cream, or something more obvious like a... Looks like it says enormous inch. Keep in mind, I do expect at the end of your agreement to stand straighter than Phase Zion's hair after a political outburst. You know what would happen if your side of this went belly up. Let's see, hold on. Let me scroll back up. At the end of the day, I am a scientist, but I will make do if other types of business get in the way of transactional business. Believe me, you're dealing with exactly what they say I am. Sincerely, Redacted. Okay, so this seems to be some type of like threatening letter to someone else coming from one scientist to some unknown and or anonymous source or whatever. This letter seems kind of threatening but kind of goofy all at the same time. I'm sure we'll touch base on this because this has something to do with everything that's going on here in the show, I would assume. If not, then I'm just stupid at this point. Okay, I finally got back to this screen. I had to slow down the video, but this picture of this guy popped up with this atom symbol at the bottom and says, "Have you seen this person?" Now, this guy kind of looks like Mason, so I don't know if this be implying that he is missing or this guy just looks similar to Mason. Probably isn't him, but we'll find out.
Okay. Have my microphone.
Yep,
Come back here, Mr. Plant. Got the plant back. Okay. We're good to go. Welcome back, everyone, to the AAVARION Show. We're doing things a little differently. It's different because this time, I'm sitting down. For those of you out there that are new and don't know what the AAVARION Show is about, let me explain. The AAVARION Show is all about creativity, aesthetics, getting to meet new people like you, and learning new things about people like you. And of course, most importantly, collaboration. In each episode, I will pick a random person from one of my social media platforms, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, and have them right here on the show. The best part is, neither distance nor imagination matters. Whether I bring the show to them, all of you guys out there, or I bring you to the show.
Interesting.
If you didn't see the profile picture already, you could sit here. Anyways, let's get back to tonight's guest. I am so excited for all of you out there and all of you out there to meet tonight's guest. Tonight's guest is from South Carolina. However, she's currently in the process of moving to Asheville, North Carolina. In a few words, she's a gothic collector of all things strange and unimaginable. She's Edgar Allan...
Okay, so they show this orange silhouette of a man carting around toxic waste, presumably. And also, the other thing I noticed, I didn't comment on it though, but when he said collaboration, the word ration was in orange. And this is also in orange, so this is something important.
She's Edgar Allan... Janine, what was his name again? Oh. Edgar Allan Poe's sidekick. And of course, the most important factor of her of all is that she's a Victorian goddess. I was also mistakenly thinking that her name was Liz this whole time. And it wasn't. I got confused because her username says Light from Nowhere, but for some reason my brain read it as Liz from Nowhere. Ladies, gentlemen, theys, thems, and anyone else out there and out there. So tell me, Vinca, did you perhaps have trouble getting here?
You know, yeah, a little bit. Honestly, it's a little bit of a blur. I don't know what happened.
Did any of the assistants on stage, help you at all? Did you see any?
You have assistants?
Yeah, I have assistants.
Oh, I didn't know you had any assistants. I don't see any assistants. Where are the assistants?
Be my guest and introduce yourself.
He just casually skirts past that point that he has any assistants. And that's kind of the other thing. We haven't seen these assistants. The only person he's mentioned so far is some woman named Janine. But we've never seen her, nor have we ever heard her talk. And the other coincidence is that she's having the same thing that's happening to her, what happened to Ratface. How he was very confused how he got there anyway, and how it's all just a blur. So he mentioned that he mysteriously appeared in the closet, or the studio team locked him in there, and that there was endless clothes, but everything was kind of blurry in the end. And also he mentioned they fell asleep a couple of times. Now Vinca over here, she's having a totally different experience, saying that her coming to the show is also a bit of a blur and confusing. And that none of these so-called assistants helped her to figure out where she was going. I don't know. Seems kind of strange to me. Just saying.
To the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, hello. My name is Vinca. I like to say that I am a connoisseur of dark and alternative vintage and antiques. Basically, that means that I sell vintage and antiques, like vintage clothing, antique tchotchkes and whatnot. Most of what I sell right now, I just sell at in-person markets, so like oddities, shows, markets, stuff like that. But, we're trying to dabble in some online realm stuff, but we'll see where that goes.
So tell us, Vinca, how have you been?
I've been really good. I've been pretty busy.
Super busy?
Super busy. Crazy busy.
Keeping busy is always a good thing, especially when you're an artist.
It really is. Or you can go insane if you're not.
I like this subtle little detail. Sorry I keep pausing. But I like this subtle little detail how Mason, he is absorbed all in this blue light. And Vinca over here, she's just totally in the darkness, other than this small little lamp, this small little hue of orange just on the side of her. But he's totally encased in blue.
Busy, just sitting there stewing, nothing to do.
Absolutely. What have you been up to lately?
Oh my God, so much. I've been doing markets, sourcing, traveling.
Do you get used to traveling a lot? I mean, for your business.
Kind of odd she mentioned traveling 3 separate times in one sentence. I understand people travel a lot, but normally when you mention something, you would only mention it once, not 3 times in a row.
For being an artist overall?
I don't know. It's you kind of get used to it. The act of traveling isn't as Because, I had somebody message me the other day. They said, like, oh, 4 hours, that's such a crazy drive. To me, I'm like, 4 hours ain't shit, dog. Like, what do you mean? But, yeah, you get used to, like, the act of traveling, but, I don't know, you never get used to, like, just constantly doing it all the time. It's just, like, I feel like the entire month is just gone like that because I've been gone for half of it. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. In some ways you get used to it, in some ways you don't.
So tell me, what does a person with a goth aesthetic do in their spare time?
So, I mean, these days, not a whole lot, honestly. Back in the day, back when I was 21, I used to live up in New Jersey and New York, and, I'd go to goth clubs, and, we'd go out and we'd party. But these days, I'm an old lady. I don't know if I look it, but I am almost 30. So I spend...
Oh, come on, Vinca. Don't be too hard on yourself. 30 ain't old at all. Like, I would understand if you were saying you were, like, maybe getting close to 80s and 90s. That'd be more considered old. But 30, I mean, that's not really that bad. I mean, I don't know. I guess everyone with that new internet slang nowadays, I mean, I guess if you're over 20, people can call you unk or whatever. I'm not into the new slang. I don't understand it. So maybe I am just old. I don't know. Maybe I'm old myself. I just don't know it yet.
95.5% of my time either thrifting or at markets. And when I'm not doing that, I just hanging. I like to go on hikes. Okay, that is the one weird thing, actually. I feel like a lot of people look at me and, like, the general, like, goth stereotype, if you will, is very, like, dark, gloomy, meh. I love going outside. I live in the mountains, so I go hiking whenever I can. I'm very, like, yeah, most of the time I'm just hanging at home with my cat, redecorating the house 27 times a week. Just hanging. I don't really do a whole lot anymore these days. I've calmed down. Is your phone going?
One thing I noticed in between these, like, subtle little cut shots is that Mason looks like he is totally uninterested in anything that these people have to say. Like, he just has a very, straight face. Like, he's... I understand sometimes people do that when they're, like, listening really intently, but he just looks like the way he's kind of, like, his demeanor is, he just seems very, very uninterested in these conversations. It's kind of like he's stuck in his own head, like, oh, when will this be over? When will this person stop talking? When can I finally be done with this show? Which I understand. Sometimes when you talk to people, it can be like that. Sometimes you are kind of just like, you just have a straight face and you're just listening and you're just waiting for them to just be quiet and stop talking.
Is my phone what?
Is your phone buzzing?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question from someone out in the audience.
Oh.
This person asks, if someone wants to get into the goth aesthetic but doesn't know how, where should they start?
Oh my God, I am so glad you asked. It is so much easier than people realize. You don't have to go online and buy all these expensive goth clothes from these goth brands that charge like $5 billion for a dress. Go to the thrift stores. Find the vintage clothes. Goth started in, like, DIY form. Like, there was no goth when goths were born. People just went out, and even if you can't find black clothes, you just go dye your clothes. Dye the clothes you already have. It's that easy. Dye the clothes you already have. Go thrifting. Go to, like, estate sales and go to local markets.
Dye your clothes. You heard it here, folks. Dye your clothes black. I mean, look, I naturally have a lot of black clothing. Granted, I'm not in no goth community or whatever, but those dyes, man, you know how contagious and how toxic some of those dyes are? Even clothing dyes, like, seriously. I don't know about the dyeing thing, but, good points nonetheless. Go to thrift stores, yeah, that makes sense. Just find a lot of old stuff.
Go to, like, alternative, like, punk and oddities and goth markets. There'll be people there that either have already curated stuff like this, or there's going to be people who make their own clothes. You can support local artists. But yeah, so with the goth aesthetic,
Okay, so after pausing the video, I came across this interesting glitch. It says, it's cut off, but it says game leafs canceled. But it says leafs canceled. Interesting. Chamber alarm on. Huh, interesting. Okay, so we're getting fed this these messages through the glitches in the screen. And one thing to note, her face was in the orange box, and so was that chamber alarm. So, chamber alarm, to me that kind of sounds like laboratory. So, kind of theorizing a little bit, maybe we're not in a studio. Maybe this is some kind of lab facility, and the show is just a cover for whatever experiments that are going on here. Because Mason, he seems very inconsistent with his information. First, he said this was a show, implying that this would be kind of more, and he says he has an audience. So, kind of implying that they're in a studio. This is a TV show. This is a production going on. But in this episode, he mentions it's a podcast. I don't know if it's him being inconsistent or him being deceiving, trying to throw us all off the scent.
Hold on.
Well, she seems different.
How did I get here?
What?
How did I get here?
How did you get where? On the show?
Here.
Ooh. Okay, so the glitching text says, please file reports to security team. Please check control book. So yeah, these glitches, they are definitely telling us something. I don't know exactly what that something is, but this is seeming more and more like this show is a cover for something bigger. And a lot of this sounds like we're in some type of facility. I'm not necessarily saying it has to be a laboratory, but some type of facility of some kind. Just don't know what it is yet.
Here. How did I get here?
Vinca, you remember how you got here.
No,
Vinca.
She's having some type of amnesia. Okay, so this glitch says chamber exit not found. Okay. And also, one more thing. I don't like how Mason is kind of gaslighting her, saying, oh, you remember how you got here. What if she genuinely doesn't remember? Or he understands, possibly, that this is the effects of what happens when people come on the show.
Vinca, look at me. You remember how you got here. Remember, my name's Mason. This is the AAVARION Show.
Do you hear that? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you hear that?
I did hear that. That was a weird sound.
What?
You don't hear that loud noise? I swear I hear.
Yeah, there it is again.
What is that noise?
I think I don't
It's
hear
a siren. Chamber identity. Chamber identifier is missing. There's orange goo. More orange. All of this is in orange.
Vinca, I don't hear anything.
Where is that?
Yeah, it's a siren.
Vinca, I don't.
Yeah, I hear it.
What do you hear? I don't hear anything.
I swear, you don't hear that?
Yeah, there it is.
Vinca,
It's blaring.
I don't hear anything. Vinca, I don't hear anything.
You're right.
Mason, I don't believe you. You were the master of gaslighting. The master. The absolute manipulator. I'm sorry I keep pausing this. It's just, I can't handle this gaslighting, man.
I'm being silly. I'm being so silly. There wasn't any noise.
I didn't hear anything.
And she just snaps back to
I
normal.
don't hear anything.
Just
I
like
didn't
that.
hear anything.
I didn't hear anything. I'm going crazy.
So, do you have any fun facts about yourself?
Ooh, yes. I actually used to do biohazard cleanup for a living.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like cleaning up dead bodies, basically.
Was that something you just applied for, like, online, or was it?
No, so I had moved to New Jersey.
Huh, interesting. She used to do biohazard cleanup. And something that they showed previously was a symbol of a guy carrying biohazardous waste.
I had no job. I was living with a friend for free, and I was just like, you know what? I should get a job. And a friend of mine, she was the supervisor at the place, and she was just like, there's a very high turnover rate in that job, and they were like, yeah, we need somebody. And so I just went in and I met the owner, and he was like, all right, you can start tomorrow. I was like, okay, cool.
Did you
Yay.
enjoy your job?
Oh, I loved it. Except the only downside was you're in the middle of summer, northern New Jersey. Fun fact, northern New Jersey is hot as balls. It's like, so it's like middle of summer, you're in full hazmat, and dude, those things, I mean, you lose a lot of water weight. Like, that was the only downside, but it was a fun job. It was something different every day. It was.
Also, I'm assuming she really did want to say with how hot it was, the bodies probably stunk, like majorly because of the heat too.
It was a perfect amount of time to have a job like that. It was just like, I get to say I did this and experience it, but not do it too long to where I want to kill myself, you know?
The viewers want to know, what's your favorite piece of clothing in your collection?
Ooh, my favorite piece of clothing. Let me think.
I hear music in the background.
All right, Vinca, are you okay?
Where are we?
There's the amnesia again, coming back. And I also start hearing that siren again. DNC, I know you're watching this. What did you send me? You're having me pause over like 15 seconds to figure out what's going on.
All right, Vinca, are you okay?
Where are we?
What do you...
There's that
you
siren
were just
again.
answering the question, what's your most favorite piece of clothing in your collection?
Yeah, but where are we right now?
We're Vinca, remember what I was telling you before? We're on... It's called the AAVARION Show. We're supposed to be doing a photo shoot together, remember?
Yeah, but like, I'm talking like the exact location. Like, what time zone are we in right now? Where?
Chamber is not currently operating in its form. Please seek technician. Yeah, this is a big test. Yeah, they're in some kind of facility. Because now she's starting to really freak out. That siren's coming back in. She's starting to freak out. She doesn't know where she is. It's like this is like a simulation of some kind.
Zone are we in right now? Where are we? I don't.
Oh. Her face was all distorted in that last frame. Oh. Creepy. And now everything's back to normal again.
That was pretty funny. Let's go on to the next question, right?
Of course, I love it here so much.
So tell me and the audience, what are your favorite aesthetics?
Ooh. I don't even know if I have a favorite. I'm really weird. I like a lot of different aesthetics. Like, obviously, I like the gothic aesthetic, but I'm also super into, like, you know, everybody loves cottagecore. Hard to not love, like, and I love, like, outdoorsy kind of stuff.
Never heard of cottagecore.
So my whole house is obviously, like, medieval, gothic, crazy, and sandy. And then my studio is just, like, covered in, like, tapestries, and I've got incense going, and I've got, like, crystals in the corner. I've got so many different, like, if I wasn't, like, I've always said, if I wasn't, like, all black all the time, I would go 70s orange and brown so hard. I love
orange. Ironic.
We then worked together on the actual photo shoot concept, which in this case was based around gothic themes mixed with dark fantasy. We both collaborated on the costumes, the props, and the set design.
And like two mad scientists creating the same monster. Here are the final results.
Nice. Orange. More orange. It's all orange. That's cool. Okay. So that was the end of Vinca, the AAVARION Show. That one was a lot more interesting. There was a lot more stuff happening, especially in the glitches in the screen. And it was kind of creepy in the sense that at points in time in the show, she would get this, all of a sudden, this sudden amnesia, not knowing where they are, why they're even there. And Mason and his gaslighting. The highlight of the episode. Like, trying to reassure her, oh, everything's okay, everything's fine. But it's not. There was something messed up definitely happening here. Whether they're in some type of lab facility, whether this is all a simulation. I'm going to settle, to kind of put this theory into perspective, I'm settling more on the lab facility theory. I'm thinking they're just in some type of facility that's disguised as a studio, that's disguised as a show, and they're running experiments on these people, and these people slowly forget, or they kind of like, it seems like they start to remember, but then they don't all at the same time. And there is a lot of like memory displacement, like them not knowing where they are, exact places, exact times, exact moments. It's just all very weird and strange, but I like it. It's a good type of weird and strange. Anyway, guys, that was the second episode of the AAVARION Show. I'm really liking this series so far. 2 episodes in, and it's been very interesting. Sorry this one seemed a little bit longer because I was pausing, looking at all the Easter eggs. You guys know me. I do this. I theorize. I pause, and I watch slowly, like bit by bit. But it's okay. Unfortunately, guys, that's all the time I have today for this video, so please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications when I upload new videos, and make sure to follow my social media links down in the description below to join the Ghoul Renegade. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!